Welcome to the Listening Window, your space to practice English through powerful stories full of emotion, mystery, and meaning. Today's story is titled The Cafe Where I Left My Heart, a moving tale about second chances, lost love, and a quiet corner cafe where everything changed. Listen carefully, repeat each sentence after me, and let yourself feel every word. To get the most out of this story, download the full learning pack using the link in the description. You'll get the full script, a vocabulary list, a quiz with answers, and a special writing/speaking prompt. Let's begin. It all started with coffee. Not a dramatic encounter, not fireworks or fate, just coffee. I just moved back to my hometown after 5 years of living in the city. I was tired, emotionally more than anything else. Tired of rushing, tired of pretending, tired of trying to build something that never quite felt real. I needed a pause. Something quiet, something familiar. And that's how I ended up standing in front of Olive's Cafe, an old little place tucked between a flower shop and a bookstore. I hadn't been there in years, but it hadn't changed a bit. Same green door, same tiny chalkboard sign that always had a quote on it. That day it read, "Sometimes you find your way back by standing still." That hit me harder than I expected. I walked in. The bell above the door jingled like it used to when I was a teenager. The smell of ground coffee beans and baked pastries wrapped around me like a warm blanket. It felt like stepping into a memory. There were only a few people inside. A couple working on their laptops, a group of older women playing cards, and one guy sitting alone in the corner. I didn't pay much attention at first. I ordered my usual vanilla latte with oat milk and a chocolate croissant. I used to get the same thing when I came here after school. The barista smiled and said, "Coming right up," and I sat at the window seat, the one with the cushion that was always a little too flat. I pulled out my journal and started writing. I don't even know why. Maybe it was just the kind of place that makes you want to reflect. I was halfway through a sentence when I heard a voice. Soft, uncertain. "Hey, Mia?" I looked up. The man from the corner table was now standing near mine. And my heart stopped. Not in a romantic way, at least, not yet. It stopped because I knew that voice. I'd dreamed about that voice. Liam, my first love. The boy I used to come here with after school. The one I kissed under the oak tree by the river. The one I left without saying goodbye. I stood up, my voice caught in my throat. Liam. I. He smiled awkwardly. Wow. I wasn't sure if it was you, but it is. I laughed nervously. Yeah, it's me. It's been a while. 5 years, he said, without hesitation. I nodded. You remember. I never forgot. Silence. The kind of silence that holds more than words ever could. He gestured toward the seat across from mine. Mind if I sit? I motioned for him to go ahead. We talked for an hour, maybe two. We talked about everything and nothing. He still lived here, never left. He worked as a graphic designer now, freelancing from home. He still came to Olive's Cafe every Friday morning. Same table, same coffee. He looked older, not in a bad way, in a grown-up, kind, deeper kind of way. His eyes still held that sparkle, but there was something behind them. A question, maybe even pain. At one point, he said, "You just left. No goodbye, no explanation." And I had no excuse. I looked down at my cup and whispered I was scared. "Of what?" he asked softly. "Of feeling too much," I said. "Of staying. Of becoming someone I didn't understand yet." So I ran. He nodded slowly. "And now?" "I don't know," I admitted. "I'm back, but I still feel a little lost." He smiled. "Sometimes being lost is the best way to find yourself." I looked at him. "Did you ever hate me for leaving?" He shook his head. "I tried to, but no. I just hoped someday I'd see you again, and maybe we'd sit at this table." Days passed, then weeks, and every Friday I came back. Sometimes we talked for hours. Other times we just sat there, comfortable, easy, like no time had passed. One morning, as I reached the cafe, there was a different quote on the sign. "Love doesn't always knock. Sometimes it waits where you left it." That day, Liam wasn't at his usual table. I waited. 30 minutes passed, then an hour. I finally messaged him. No reply. I felt something shift in my chest. Worry, dread. That evening, I got a call from his sister. Liam had been in a minor car accident. He was okay, but shaken. He'd hit his head. Nothing serious, but enough to keep him overnight at the hospital. I visited him the next day. He smiled when he saw me, even with the bandage on his forehead. "You came," he said. Of course I did. And then, in that small, sterile hospital room, he reached out and held my hand. "Mia," he whispered, "don't leave again." I swallowed the lump in my throat. "I won't. I promise." A year later, we sat at our table in Olive's cafe, now with 2 cups, 1 shared croissant, and a small ring on my finger. Same green door. Same old bell. Same table. New story. And this time, I wasn't going anywhere. Outro, with Assets Call to Action. Thank you for listening to the cafe where I left my heart, here on the listening window. If you could change one thing in the story, what would you change? Tell us in the comments and share your own ending. Want to practice even more? Click the link in the description to download your free learning pack. It includes the full story script, a vocabulary list with examples, a quiz with answers, and a bonus writing plus speaking prompt to help you express your own love story in English. Like, share, and subscribe to the listening window, where every story opens a door to better English. See you in the next one.